Over and above that, and this update obviously reports on many other things that my fellow panelists will speak to, this update also highlights, for example, the devastating impact of invasive species, with 87% of the 415 endemic Hawaiian plant species assessed being threatened with extinction. That is 87% of the 415 endemic Hawaiian plants being threatened by extinction. That's important news, because the IUCN list updates like this one has to drive imperative and important conservation action, or we will lose these species forever. And once they are gone, they really are gone. We already know what the drivers of species loss is, or are: illegal hunting, habitat destruction, and invasive species. But we also know, and this is the good news, we also know that conservation works. You actually can turn this around if you invest in conservation. And that's a story we would like for you to hear.
Hawaii's native plants are valuable examples of how life adapts to a changing climate and onto new landscapes. After millions of years in isolation, the recent and rapid introduction of thousands of new species is now causing extinctions. When we lose species of plants, we are losing the foundation of our terrestrial ecosystems and irreplaceable cultural treasures that also hold ecological solutions to problems we don't even know exist yet. As natural areas around the globe are increasingly fragmented, they too become islands, vulnerable to some of the same threats we see here. Threatened Hawaiian plants are underrepresented on the red list, and this recent effort has helped us to systematically identify their status and begin to put our flora on the global map. In this process, this has strengthened local partnerships around our local Hawaii strategy for plant conservation and will raise awareness here of how we can contribute to global biodiversity conservation. These results also bring the cause of this decline into focus, showing us what we can do about it. We need to urgently improve biosecurity. We need to control the threats to our rarest species, and we need to find more partners to help us do this, and we will. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Matthew. And this one is really gloomy news, but it hopefully will trigger the action that Carlo was talking about that is so necessary. So we really hope that in Hawaii that's going to happen now.
But there's gloomy news on Hawaiian plants, but I've been on vacation here. I went to the Hakalau National Wildlife Refuge in the Big Island a couple of weeks ago, and was shown many species of plant that were down to fewer than 50 individuals that are now being cultivated, that have been planted back in the wild, that have been increased in nurseries. So although we don't yet have any significant recovery of Hawaiian plant species to reflect improvements in red list categories, I have not only on the Big Island but also on Kauai, just been really inspired to see the efforts of people here in Hawaii to conserve their plant fauna, take these species on the edge of extinction and start the process to bring them back and make them species that will one day play their role in the ecosystem again. So even when you're down to the last few specimens, you can bring species back, and it's been wonderful to see.